Are you having limiting beliefs out there? They exist. All of us have had them at one point or another. But this next video is going to be very important because we're going to talk about how you can take those limiting beliefs and turn them into unlimited beliefs.
All of us feel insecurity and confidence issues, whether it's being on video, meeting someone new, or even public speaking. It's normal. And in this video, we're going to unpack so many things to allow you to fulfill your potential.
Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of RevShow. I'm Rob.
And I'm Ruben.
And today we're going to talk about something that's a little more serious. The name of this episode is going to be The Power of Unlimited Beliefs. Now that's very positive, but the sad part of this is people out there having limited beliefs. So we're going to talk a lot about how you can take the limited and turn that into unlimited in a lot of different ways. But we've got to start with what limiting beliefs are and how they're affecting us. What are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs can root themselves in ourselves at any age. Typically it happens when we're younger, there's some sort of trauma that happens, and it turns into a limiting belief about something. So perhaps maybe I was playing basketball one day and I was taking some shots and I couldn't make a shot, and then I was told by someone, "You're a terrible shooter." Then that goes right into your head. You know what? I can't shoot hoops. I'm not that good. That becomes a limiting belief. And then eventually through hard work, concentration, practice, repetition, that limited belief becomes an unlimited belief because you've gotten better at that one thing and you've overcome it. A lot of the time, sadly, limiting beliefs can make people stop doing what they're meant to do with their lives. It's putting up that stop sign when there should be a go instead. An example of limiting beliefs, and we were talking about on-camera presence, making videos. And this person told me that they just weren't comfortable on video. They didn't like the look of their face. They didn't like the sound of their voice. Those are two very big, sad, limiting beliefs. The one thing you've got to focus on to move away from this, in particular when you're making videos, but from the bigger piece of advice in the world in general, is just because someone has labeled you as something, that doesn't mean that that's the truth. So in terms of not liking your own face and your own voice, the number one thing you could do in that scenario, and this was the piece of advice I mentioned, was in a conversation, you're focusing on the other person, or you should be. So for instance, if you're making a video for someone in the business or sales world, or if it's a fun video for someone that you know, or it's for someone you've never met before in your life, the focus should be on that person, not on yourself. Focus on what the conversation piece is about them. Focus on what your message is to them. And when you put more of the emphasis on the other person and really focus on that conversation that you're having, whether it's synchronous, like in Zoom or Google Meets or somewhere like that, or if it's asynchronous when you're sending a dub video, realize it's part of a bigger conversation and it's about the other person that you're speaking to. Once you realize that it's about them and not about yourself, you can take the focus and the pressure off of the feelings that you're having about yourself because you're thinking about that other person. And that is a way to start to make a difference on the path from a limiting belief to an unlimited belief.
So think about this for a second. You might have said something like this in the past. I don't like the sound of my voice. I'm not good looking enough to do videos. The way that my hair looks doesn't look great in photos. Whatever agreement that you've made in your life, chances are it's coming from a deep place in your life. It's come from your past. Perhaps your childhood, perhaps you as a young adult, or even in your adult life. The point here is that at some point, someone might have told us X, and now we believe X. And the problem with this is that it becomes a self-fulfilled prophecy. Now, the thing that we hear about the most is that people do not like the way that they look or sound on video. If you are one of these people, don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with you. In fact, when I started my video experience, I felt the same thing. I felt imposter syndrome. I fatigued often. I gave up. I didn't know what to say. I felt like it was an out-of-body experience where ultimately I didn't feel comfortable. But what helped me with this is what we're going to get into in the next piece of this video.
The next topic we're going to cover is perception. How often have you heard the expression, perception is reality? A lot of that was coined with marketing and advertising, even in the world of sports, communication, business, whatever we're talking about here. If there's a perception of something, it quickly becomes a reality, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. But when it comes to the topic of limiting beliefs and to get out of the limited and making it unlimited, is you need to understand that perception is not your reality. Perception isn't even the reality. So when you think about yourself and you're getting ready to put yourself on camera for your next video, for your next sales video, your next client communication video, any kind of communication you're getting ready to have, remind yourself that in the world, perception is not reality. You can make your own reality. So for instance, if I'm about to make a video to send out to a prospect or a client, as soon as I'm about to start that video, I start with a mindset. What is my messaging? Why am I even making this video? Why am I even communicating? Now, when you start asking those two things, the why becomes again about the about the other person, not about yourself. So when that video gets sent out and that communication/conversation has now started, the perception on the other side for the person getting this video is about, wow, someone's reaching out to me. How impressive. Someone's extending their hand and putting it out there into the world, waiting for someone else to grab that hand back. That's really what that is. And that feels like a perception. That's actually a reality. That's what you're doing. That's the reality. It's not about how you look, how you sound. We are a fingerprint. We are the only ones of who we are. And we need to lean into that authenticity. That's what we talk about a lot here at Dove. So perception is only as big as you let it be. That's the key here. Don't let it become this big monster. Understand that you control the reality. And your reality in terms of what you're putting out there in the world, that's what matters. Not a perceived perception.
Now, let's face it, there are things that we're not good at yet, and there's really two solutions that we can offer here. Number one is repetition, which is to practice and practice and practice. If you don't feel comfortable on video, or if you don't feel comfortable playing basketball, you have to repeat it. You have to do it on a daily basis. And then what happens after a certain while is you get good at it. And when you get good at it, you lose your insecurities and you build up your confidence. And the other idea is acceptance, to simply accept the fact that we are all mortal, that we are all fallible, and that frankly, we are all aging.
A large chunk of the acceptance definition, especially when it comes to video and business and sales and client communication, is understanding that originality, being different, that's a big part of punching through the noise, like we like to say here at Dove. That's one of Darius, our co-founder's favorite phrase, punching through the noise. And that's what we're trying to do here. Whenever we try to be original or authentic, we're taking that package that we've created about ourselves, and it's really a big part of who we are. What we're doing is presenting ourselves to the world. Now, accepting who we are, accepting how we sound, what we look like, what our personality is like. That's a big part of growth, is acceptance. So once you've accepted that, then you can use the power of repetition to practice until you get better at something. We must accept to be able to grow. And one of the most important points about acceptance is realizing it doesn't have to be perfect. We are not perfect. Like Ruben said, we are all fallible in some kind of way. So take the pressure off of yourself, put the bricks down, and just stand there and be yourself and be accepting with who you are.
The next tip that we will present to you to feel more confident and to be limitless is to make an action plan. Making an action plan is such an important part of this process. Without an action plan, there is no clear set way to overcome ultimately what are your fears, what are your concerns. If you need to record more videos, make an action plan. If you need to get to the gym and work out, make an action plan. If you need to work on your outside shots in basketball, make an action plan. The key here is to give yourself a realistic list of tasks. And with your action plan, make it fun. Make it part of your life. Make it a fun ritual that you will enjoy doing, because when you get out on the other side after a month or even a year, you're going to be so much more confident and capable in what it is initially that you were insecure about. And our final tip to be limitless is to visualize the ultimate successful version of yourself and to drive towards that every single day. Figure out where it is that you want to ultimately be in your life and make an action plan to get it. Because if you can't visualize it, you can't accomplish it.
If you can't visualize it, it doesn't exist. And you've got to make it exist in your mind first before it exists out there in the reality.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Rev Show by Dove. Please consider subscribing to this channel and leave a comment. Put a big fat yes if you like this video. And of course, don't forget to share it with a friend. Thanks.